In Algebra 1, section 3.7, we're dealing with formulas. So these are preset formulas that we fill in and solve for the missing variable. In this case, these are some common formulas you're going to be using. In geometry, you're going to look into them more in depth, but these are basic formulas that you've probably seen before, but if not, they're simple and straightforward ones. So don't forget to write these down in your notes. But the first one is the area of a triangle. So here's a triangle, and from the vertex to straight down to a base at a right angle gives us the height and the base. So B is my base and H is my height. Okay? The area of a rectangle is something that you might have seen, and it's basically you multiply the length times the width. So the cursive L is length and width. Density is D equals M over V. D stands for your density. M is your mass. And V is your volume. And distance is something that you've probably seen. We've done it in some of the problems before. D is your distance. Okay. R is your rate, so like 8 miles an hour, 12 kilometers per minute, whatever it may be. And T is our time. So here are some common formulas that you will use or have used in the past. Don't forget to pause, write it down, including the vocabulary. And we're going to do some example problems. Alright. Here's an equation, and it wants us to solve for f. So not necessarily am I putting anything in the equation, but I want to isolate f. So basically we want to move everything to the other side, leaving f by itself. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we need to do is make sure to get rid of its furthest friend. And right now its furthest friend is right here, 273. Okay, because it's being connected by a plus or minus. The opposite would be to subtract 273 on both sides of the equal sign. So what I end up with is k minus 273, right? These cancel out, equals 5 over 9 f minus 32. Alright, the next friend that's furthest away from it is the 5 over 9. Okay, because the negative 32 is connected into the parentheses, so it's actually one of its closest friends. The only way you can be closer if it's something being directly multiplied to 5 over 9. So what you can do here is you can take 5 over 9, and we're going to, just like remember how to get rid of it, you're going to flip it. So 9 over 5, and that cancels it out. But what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. The thing is, and this is an important thing, because these are separated by a term, which is minus or plus, I can't just put 5 over 9 to one of them. I put them in parentheses, just like I did here, and do 9 over 5. Does that make sense? I put it in parentheses because I have to apply 9 over 5 to both terms. If I just put it in front of the k, then 273, I've made the equation not balanced. So I put it in parentheses. So now I have 9 over 5 k minus 273 equals, and because I have nothing in front of it, I don't have to have the parentheses, minus 32. Now I want to move the last friend of f, which is minus 32, which I do add 32 because it's the opposite, cancels out, and I add 32. So my final answer is going to be 9, 5, k minus 273 plus 32 equals f. Right? So when they want you to solve for a particular letter, it just basically they mean to isolate the letter, get rid of all its friends and bring it to the other side. The next one says, estimate the time it would take Superman to reach Jupiter if it traveled at 30,000 miles per hour. So look at the equations. We're trying to find time. Out of all the equations in the past that I gave you on this list right here, the only one that dealt with time was distance. Distance equals equals rate times time. So D equals R and T. So let's see what we can fill in. Remember, we can solve for an equation only if there's only a maximum of one missing variable. If there's more, then we can't solve for it. So let's see if we can fill everything in. We know that Superman traveled 30,000 miles per hour. So this would be our rate. Okay? And we want to know the time, so our time would be x. Estimate the time it would take to reach Jupiter if it traveled. Well, first we need to find how much Jupiter is. Let me see if... Alright, so go ahead and try page 174, number 6 and 8. Page 174, number 6 and 8. And I will see you in class. So go ahead and try page 174, number 6 and 8. Page 174, number 6 and 8. And I will see you in class.